happening, people? Welcome back to Chess 99. Welcome to another video. Chelsea have now won 3 games on the bounce. And today, of course, I had to come back on a Monday to give you guys a great content. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. My bad, by the way, for being gone for a long time. To get that's my TikTok there to follow up. Also, got my special guest today whose descriptions will be in the description below. They also do other content as well on social media like TikTok, YouTube. Shout out Jem for that one. But yeah, where's it gone? Subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that sub button, and every single person that joins us live, it's been a minute. We saying Peter Houdini. It's been a minute, so we get the algorithm back up, get all the fans back in here, everyone supporting the Chelsea. Yeah, get the community thriving. Let's talk. On today's topics: Palmer stinker, top 4, or can Chelsea get second place? I mean, it sounds crazy, but I genuinely think there's a pathway for us to do it. Obviously, this weekend's a big result, and of course, in general, we need to talk about the team, how we played yesterday, and how we're feeling. Big up my boy Jem, OG, in this YouTube space. What are you telling me, bro?
Good, bro. What are you saying? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it as always. I try and get on as much as I can now with everything going on. But yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. It's good to be on here, man. How are you?
No, I'm good. It's good to chat. We'll try it. The viewers definitely will like our conversation. VD's in the background as well, going to jump in as well. Pause. But yeah, we'll try and get Jem on and VD on more regularly. That's my fault because I don't stream all the time. My bad. But it's good to get other Chelsea fans in here and get different opinions. A big up Jem. A bit of VD, my guy as well. Been a minute as well. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Tired, man. It's an early day today, man. It's but yeah, yeah, I guess we'll get into it, innit?
You sound like you've had enough of the Chelsea, man. You sound like you've had enough of it.
It's not even
that.
It's
difficult, man. Big up Stephen
just,
Michael's always picking up. We said
fan base is just in a bit of tyranny right now, man. Bro, you go online. I saw Enzo Maresca get criticized for celebrating the win. Like, come on, man.
Speak on it.
It's everyone's in tyranny. Like, you can't win. So this is what I don't understand. So one of the tweets said, one of the most embarrassing things was I saw Enzo Maresca doing Lampard celebration. Apparently, so the fist pump is Lampard celebration, and in the home end or whatever.
We're gonna talk. This is its own section itself. Yeah, this is the perfect panel because I don't get to hear you guys' opinions other than messages or never a foul with VD. Shout Jem. Here's the thing: what's going on in our fan base? Jem, you could start. Why is it that no one can be happy at the moment? What is it about the team? What do you think the fans who were singing "We got our Chelsea back" 2 months ago? Why are they so negative? Why do we win yesterday? Which, in my opinion, boys, I don't think it was a bad performance at all. And then I looked on Twitter, like VD said, and I saw negative. We played crap. Why are we celebrating? Why is this happening? Or do you agree with what's happening right now in terms of the fan base?
Social media, innit? This is what happens. 10 years ago, we didn't have all of this. 15 years ago, we didn't have people coming on social media slagging off players and managers after a win and stuff. You know, it's just become like the regular this day. And I don't want to say it's like the new generation because that's not really like the fair thing to say because not every individual is like that. But unfortunately, there is a lot of individuals out there that have a lot of agendas for either liking players, liking managers, disliking players, disliking managers, rather than putting what's most important first, which is the football club. And that's what it used to be. You know, it used to always be, you know, we might not be happy with 1 or 2 players in our team, but we would always pull together and we'd always, you know, whether we win or lose, we would always like, you know, it would be, you know, we would support each other. But now it's like, and this is why I've kind of stayed off Twitter. I used to be on Twitter a lot. I used to do a lot of like spaces with Con and stuff like that. We used to like do.
I've seen you.
Big up Con.
Yeah, big up to him as well. But like, I've kind of like kept myself away from it on match days, and especially after as well, because even when we win, it's like, all right, it's good to see what the mood's like, but you always still get someone moaning about the way that Maresca's, I don't know, decided to not make a substitution, or the way that player was playing today, even though he had a good game. They will find a reason to like moan about that player for not doing something. And it's like, come on, guys, like we can't always continuously be negative. And listen, like I do believe fans, a lot of fans are just like, they live in the moment, right? So like when we were doing very well 2 months ago, it was very like, yeah, you know, we've got our Chelsea back, we're going to win the league, this, that, and the other. And the next minute, when we're not winning games and it all gets hard and stuff, all of the past comes back in our minds, and it's, oh, these players are crap. Why did we spend 100 million on him? And we need a striker, and this Maresca's crap, and and it's just
no, it is. No, it is.
Very fickle.
You summed up perfectly at the end there. VD can speak after this, yeah. It's like when the process, in their opinion, is going well, we're second in the league and we're winning games, they kind of ignore the money being spent. No one talks about it, right? Was you hearing about all this noise in November? I weren't. It was all rosy. It was all, can we keep our players fit? We then have a terrible bit in form, which is on the manager and the players and sporting directors. I agree. And all of a sudden, people start talking about the money. We can't make top 4 anymore. It's a terrible squad. They weren't saying this literally a month before when we were winning games.
That's all right, but it's rivals, though, bro. When it's rivals, I get that, because that's what they're there
the rivals doing it is what the rivals are supposed to do. Because we were doing the same thing to Arsenal, right? Yeah. But when your own fan base is doing it, this isn't Roman anymore. Like, just get with it. Roman's not here. He's never coming back. I've done videos on it. It went viral. People were laughing, going, yeah, we can get him back. He ain't coming back, unfortunately. Yep. So, and even we can have a mini debate right now, but Roman towards the end wasn't even that great. It was peeling off. We had a challenge for a league for 5 years when he was here. When he was here, we lost to Liverpool and Leicester in the finals. Do you remember that? How sad that was? Yeah. The year we won Champions League, we lost to Leicester in the final with Chilwell offside goal. That was Roman. But people don't remember all this stuff. Let's not act like this is Roman and we have all these £100 million players like Vini Jr. and Bellingham. They don't understand. You either back it or you don't. But don't praise it when it's going well and all of a sudden negate it when it's going badly. You saying, VD?
Sure. Also want to continue from there. Remember, we could have had Lukaku in his prime, but instead opted for Morata. And we could have had Oblak in his prime, but instead we opted for Kepa. And you could do this for like so many other players as well. I mean,
Bakayoko, Sava Costa, Drinkwater, the list goes on.
Like they weren't saints, and we also had very big issues with moving players on because Marino would penny pinch. Ziyech stayed an extra season when he should have been moved. There's so many players that should have been moved, but I mean, people don't really want to remember that. I think the fan base is just also, I don't know. I think they're stuck in the past. You know, in the protests, I'm seeing shouts for Mourinho, Jose Mourinho. Come on, he did what he did at the club, but let's be real here now. And I don't understand this whole Chelsea DNA thing. Yeah, people talk about Enzo Maresca. He doesn't know what it means to be Chelsea. Well, did Jose when he first came? Did Ancelotti? Did all of these people? Did they get their affiliation with Chelsea straight away? No, they had to earn it. Like Mourinho obviously had one of the most brilliant mindsets of a manager, but you only really get the legend status from actually deciding to prove yourself. And people just don't want to give Enzo Maresca that light of day.
That's literally what it is. You said it perfectly, and Jem will finish off on the segment. Is the fan base is stuck in the Roman era. They're stuck there. They can't anything other than win a trophy now. And this is the thing. When I say this, people think I don't want to win. My age, and VD, I think me and VD are similar ages, and Jem's a little bit older, but cool. We've all seen our team win every single year from kids all the way to adulthood. So you can't tell me about winning because I've seen it every single year. Uni, school, sixth form, everything. So I've seen it. My thing is I also live in reality and I understand topics of it's not always linear success. Mourinho came in with a big team that was doing well in the league. If you know your history, know your history. He won the league that season with big money coming in, cool. It's not the same situation this time around. This isn't Roman. We didn't spend 1.5 billion on Vinny, Bellingham, Correa, Griezmann. We didn't do that. We decided to go to a different route. That's a different debate. But don't look at this team and give it Roman standards. No one's saying make us top 6 and be happy. I want top 4. I want a trophy, 100%. I don't want to be Arsenal when they don't win anything. But at the same time, this whole thing of like, oh, we're so terrible. I don't think we are. I genuinely think we're 3 players away from competing for the league next season. I don't think we're far away from the league. So that's the way I see it. Jem, you get close up on this. How do you think overall, like, what do you think the fan base needs to change their mind on it? Is it just top 4 in a trophy, or do you think that they'll always have this point of view, even if you make top 4?
Some are very rigid in the way that they feel about the owners and directors, and partly I'm very I kind of get it a little bit. Don't get me wrong, especially
Same.
with how we've utilised the money in certain areas. The fact what's criminal is not sorting out our striking position for as long as we have done. That's criminal. You know, there's certain things where it's like you can sit there and go, all right, I get it, I understand it. But, you know, when you're talking about us on the pitch and where we are currently at the moment, I accepted the fact that we were going to go through this process. The only thing that with me, when it comes to watching us, is progression and not regression. And I do feel that there has been some elements of regression. However, this year, you could look at it based on since they've got here to now, depending on where we are at the end of the season, if we end up getting top four and winning the Conference League, that's pure progression. So we go into next season with the target of, yes, we've got Champions League football again, which is just so important to it. I hate watching Champions League football and not seeing us in it. It just don't feel right. I don't know. Even when we're not, like, do you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel right. And I'm watching like living, I don't know, like Liverpool and Man City and all them in it. It just feels weird without us in it. But yeah, I just feel, you know, we need to, as a fan base, pull together. You know, if anyone sat here at the beginning of the season and said Chelsea will get, you know, top three and get Champions League and whatever, I don't think there would be. I think there was a lot of us that thought we could if we kept our squad fit, but there would also be a lot of the ones that don't really like what we've got or what's going on would sit there and go, we're going to finish 8th, we're going to finish 10th, we're going to finish 12th. And that's not been the case so far. So, you know, it's one of them where it's like, I think we just need to just see how it plays out, and the fans just need to be fans and get behind the team. That's just the way.
Yeah, 100%. I think if Chelsea get top 4 or top 3 in the Conference League, I don't think any fan should be complaining about it at all. Obviously, you win a domestic trophy. It's been a while since you won one of those. But at the same time, we've met our objectives. And like Jem said, we're objectively improving. That means we're becoming 12th. We got it out the squad. 6th when we had young players improving the squad. And then we're moving to top 4, top 3 with the same youngsters who finished 6th, which is a massive improvement in my opinion. So
it's an improvement.
In that regards, obviously I'm seeing a lot of comments coming. I'm going to go through them. But yeah, in terms of progression, VD, how do you think about the game yesterday? Overall, who's the standout players? Who do you feel like needs to step up against Arsenal away? We've got Spurs at home and then Brentford away from home. Who do you think needs to step up? Who was you impressed with in regards to yesterday's game versus Leicester?
I can't lie, I don't think I feel we were all right. I think if we had a striker in the box, I think we would have scored a lot more. I mean, look how many crosses came into the box from Pedro Neto, from literally everywhere. If we had a box presence, I think we would have scored. Palmer finally missed a penalty. You know, I think there was a few other, like, I have a bad memory in it. I have short memory, so I don't remember every single chance that was thing. But I know there were a couple of chances that we should have scored or we should have been doing better with. But I can't lie, Pedro Neto yesterday, he gave everything. That did not sound like Grandpa, but he literally he bled for the shirt. He actually bled for the shirt. He was everywhere. His movement was top tier. He was left wing, right wing. He was at striker. He was in the 10. He was everywhere. He was pressing his man. He worked his socks off yesterday. And big up to him, man. And same as Caicedo, listen, it's whenever he's not allowed to get a yellow card, this guy becomes the most efficient tackler I've ever seen in my life. Him, besides Kante, incredible. But
Isn't it?
Only issue is like, as much as we can highlight those players, you can also highlight the downfall or
the negatives.
Some players that just didn't, like, Tosin was just slow yesterday. Like, he wasn't alert. Sanchez, what do you say?
Bro, you know that moment where the ball, it was just, I think someone lost the ball and then he crossed it in and it gets deflected onto the bar. I was like, bro, that is so Chelsea. Like, if that went in, I wouldn't have been. Would you have been shocked? I wouldn't have been shocked.
No, it would have been classic Chelsea. We fall to our own mistakes, kind of thing.
We would have been dominating the game, just giving them a goal. And
I've been on to Colwell all season. I don't think he's been great at all. I don't even think he was too great yesterday. But he was alert yesterday to clear that off the line. Because, I mean, it would have got in. They were chasing the ball down. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can go through each player and say X, Y, Z, but I mean, you got to talk about Cucurella as well. Best left back in the world. It's not a debate. Yeah, I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to scream and shout it. Like, I don't need to scream and shout it. It's just a fact now. He's the best left back in the world. I don't think there is anyone that comes close. This guy does everything: overlap, underlap, invert, score, create chances. Like, he can stay back. He's line splitting passes, He comes short. Bro, he's so good. He's so good. And I know my Twitter account is way more hated on, and it's a lot more like, I don't know what the word is. It's like over exaggerated. But one thing, yeah, that I will forever say is I was begging to give this guy a second chance, because the season in Potter, when Potter was here, it wasn't a representation of anyone in that team. And as soon as you got that second chance, I mean, wow, man.
Yeah,
What
you
a
can't
player.
like that finish was reminded of Alonso. No, Alonso finished with
Literally
Tottenham, the P roller
killed
kind
the
of thing.
man, but not the idea. Like,
But you know what? Yesterday's performance, Gem. Big up Deals. The comment here. I want to suggest this to you as well. Keep put out. Big up Ches and big up Gem. Based on the system, the attack dried off lately when
not me, no.
Maresca first came in. We all knew a dip in form would happen. It's happening. We have to find a way out of it. Do you think yesterday sums up what Deals is saying, where Cucurella scored a banger, like BD said, brilliant finish. But do you feel like our attack has fallen off, or do you think it's just a case of the overall team's form is falling off, pressure, injuries? What do you think it is?
I think it's accumulation of a couple of things. I do think that even if you look at Liverpool's games this season, even Arsenal's, for example, there's been games like yesterday that I've watched them, where they've been in the same position and they've struggled to break teams down. I do think that does happen. Obviously, they were meant to be setting up in a back four and they didn't, and a back five, they turned into a back five, is what Maresca said, which is, I would say, is an excuse for us to not be able to break teams down. But we did create yesterday, and I did see a lot of people moaning yesterday about how it was a poor game and they were upset and we needed.
Yeah, I don't know where they got that from.
And whatever else. I wouldn't say it was one of them type of games for me personally. I just felt it was the same type of game in terms of what we're used to seeing, which is just not taking our chances. And when we do create, like, it was just, they were there. We could have been 2-0 up by half time. People don't talk about that, 2-3-0 up.
Yeah, the penalty, yeah.
It's not even could have, should have. We should have.
Yeah, we should have been. To answer BD's question, right? Because BD asked how many chances we created. We created a lot. I remember Cucurella, a few cutbacks, in that ball over the top. He had chances to cut it back. In Cucu missed a header from a corner. You guys remember that? From point blank range. Neto had a few 1-1s. Enzo missed a chance in the second half where he puts it near post. Should have scored that. We had at least 4 or 5 chances.
Yeah.
Against Southampton, you guys remember, I went to the game. We were just clinical that day. It was similar to yesterday. If we were more clinical, probably win 3-0.
Yeah, we went into a back three as well, which I was okay with personally. And I think you can see the difference when Wesley Fofana comes in. Listen, I'm not a big fan of our defence. I'm not. I don't really have any any favourites in the backs. I think Fofana, however, you can see kind of in his own game suits the Maresca system, and it kind of benefits him in that way because we're playing high pressure and stuff. And I like that. That's good. I don't think Tostin was that bad yesterday. I know he had that one moment, but don't get me wrong. Out of the 3 centre backs at the back, I thought Colwill was the one that was for me a little bit suspect, barring the where he saved it off the line, because every time he got the ball, it's just, what it is with Colwill for me? He just seems to just have a bit of a brain fog moment throughout games.
He just hoofs the ball.
He'll get the ball and he'll just hoof it up the pitch for no
facts.
reason. It's like, we ain't got Jackson up there. It's Neto, and you're hoofing balls up the pitch. Like, we just lose him from
doesn't hold up the ball.
His IQ is so low when it comes to football.
I see Caicedo win a tackle in midfield and get fouled at the same time. Colwell grabs the ball for him and passes it literally straight to their back to him, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, he just has these tendencies to just switch off, and that's my only thing with Colwell. He just seems to have a bit of a brain fog most of the time. But I thought the midfield was excellent. I thought Caicedo and Enzo again, last season.
We have to speak on Enzo. This is a segment.
Well,
what's going on with Enzo Fernandez? Like, he's running past people, boys.
Playing how he was. I mean, you know what I was supposed to be.
He's grown his hair out. He looks like a different player. He looks different level. Like,
forgetting that,
grown in the last 5 months or so. It's crazy.
I've been a big fan of him before he even came to Chelsea. I was watching him at Benfica and stuff as well. And this kind of version that we're getting at the moment from Enzo Fernandez is the one that I was seeing, not only at the World Cup but at Benfica as well. Just constant energy, getting stuck in, knowing where to position himself. But more importantly for me, and I've said it so many times, he for me is probably our biggest creator in the team at the moment, because Palmer is off. He's been off for a while as it is, but he created what was it, six chances yesterday?
Yeah,
in the game, which is mad. He could easily be our top assister. if we had someone that could execute some of the chances that are created up front for him. Because not only is he good at just creating from receiving the ball and playing them over the top or through the middle, but even his corners are pinpoint. Have you watched his corners? His corners are just always like
Cucurella should have scored from one. True.
Like they're just very good, and he's just he's on the top of his game at the moment. He's on form, and him and Caicedo at the moment are playing very well. But people moan about the spaces in the midfield. Oh yeah, but look, still we've got the problems with the spaces in midfield. Arsenal have the same problem. When you're playing against a team that's sitting back and you're pressing and trying to break them down, there's going to be moments in the game where you just open in the midfield.
Like, and that's where, Jem, your individual defensive quality comes in.
Yeah.
Because then you trust your Salibas, Fofanas to sweep it up, right? That's why they're so good.
I've seen Arsenal have the same problem. Liverpool had moments of the same where their midfield just looks like it's not there, but it's not. It's just because they're so trying to make things happen at the other end of the pitch. It happens,
Be up everyone who's joined. We will talk on Arsenal because a lot of fans in here. Don't forget to like on the way into the stream, of course. Also, Jem's, I'll put his TikTok in there. So, Jem, send me over your TikTok link or whatever you want. And VD's Twitter will be in the description below. So check them out. Hit the like button, though. Don't be a bozo. Don't be a bum. It pushes the algorithm out, pushes the community. Let's do that. Boys, we'll talk on Arsenal. We'll talk on Palmer. We'll talk on Palmer. So Enzo Fernandez will give him praise. He's a warrior now. He's a proper captain, you could say. Is that fair to say? Him and Cucurella stepping up? Consider performance-wise, but them two times like leadership, like strength, tenacity. But Cole Palmer, man, apparently a diarrhea. Do you believe that? That's the question. Probably did. But does he get back into form for Arsenal? Can he get back into form at the right time? What's happened to Palmer? Does he need to be dropped? VD, talk to me. Should we drop him for Nkunku? What do you think?
No. Because you see Nkunku yesterday.
Nope.
You see Nkunku. This guy has no tenacity. He has no desire to make something happen. No desire to press. No desire to get forward. He just kind of strolls around. I can't be having that. No way should he get dropped. Because I mean, if you look at the quotes that Maresca was saying, he was saying Palmer was ill. He was ill the day before that as well, and he was like, all right, listen, I want to start. I want to help the team. I want to get us back to Champions League football. So I mean, that's desire, man. That is desire, and you don't discredit someone from wanting to step up and be the one to step up. So listen, it's not even will he get back. He needs to get back into form. He needs to, because if we're gonna get top 4 and if we're gonna beat Arsenal, we need him. And it's only a matter of time. I see it as like I'm someone that believes like things happen in the universe, innit? Like it's only a matter of time before things happen again. Like things always circle around, they come full circle. It's gonna happen the same with Palmer. He's too good for him to not get that goal, to not start contributing properly again. He's too good for it. And I mean, this will be a perfect time to beat the allegations of the ghosting in the Big Six games.
Could you imagine?
This would be perfect.
Could you imagine the BD script and like he comes on? Let's just say he starts and he scores in like the 50th minute, something crazy like that. And then you remember when we beat Arsenal last time and everyone went to the fans and it was like raucous atmosphere and it was dark. I need that this week, man, because we need to beat Arsenal. And Palmer, this is your perfect chance to silence all the haters, to come back, score a goal. But in your opinion, should he be dropped, or do you give VD where he's undroppable? Like, what do you think?
He can't be dropped. I do think it's criminal that we've not tried Nkunku in the 10. Personally, I'm not going to lie. I think not seeing him in the 10 with Jackson at least once or twice for me, because I was confused, right? Because I actually had to bring up Nkunku's games at Leipzig. I needed to just see it, just to see because I'm pretty sure back then I was like, this guy, there's a baller there. There's a good player in this guy. And like he was playing in obviously the 10 role there as well, and it was just a lot more energy and movement and wanting to be involved and get involved. But with Chelsea, I agree. At the moment, you don't see it off the left. He's not showing any like, oh yeah, give me the ball, let me be the man, let me do this, let me do that. He just seems to just fizzle through games. So I get why maybe he's not being given that opportunity just based on what we're seeing, because he's just not bringing that much of an influence. But there's no doubt that in front of goal, he should, from his stats alone, he should be one of the players who we should be looking at to be banging goals for us.
Yeah, we expect him to be a lot more like aggressive, 1v1 skills, half space, 1-2s. But he's very like lethargic. He waits for the ball. He kind of makes everything happen around him, and then he pops up with good goals here and there. Though, like he's clinical, but
Palmer,
we
I don't
need.
know with Palmer. Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
with
Talk about
Palmer, it's one of them, isn't it? Like the people, like he's becoming a little bit annoying. Don't get me wrong, because when I watched him yesterday running in through on goal, and Enzo was through, all he had to do was usually Palmer would just look up and he'd play that ball through to Enzo, and he'd be 1-on-1 with the goalie. But man's just looking down at his feet, and you can just see that the confidence isn't there. There's just not his confidence is shot. He's just confidence is shot. You can see it. You know, even the touches in the box when we're getting into good positions and we play the ball into him in the box, he's
making
taking
it worse.
1, 2, 3 touches. When usually, what does he do? Bang, 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 bang. You know, he don't even think about it. It's just bang. You know, so maybe over time that will come, and we'll get that sort of. Yeah, we need that Palmer back. I agree. If we're going to get top 4, we need Palmer to be contributing, assisting, and contributing to goals again. Because especially without Jackson, I think we're going to find it hard. You know, so
Yeah, because I don't think Jackson's back until Tottenham maybe or Brentford. So we've still got 2 big games coming up: Copenhagen at home, and obviously Arsenal away. And Palmer needs to step up because I can't see really, unfortunately, any of our wingers stepping up. What player can we really lean on in our attack? Not our midfield, in our attack to help us win a game. Because Cucurella scored the goal yesterday. Even against Southampton, it was Cole who scored the header. Do you know what I'm saying? 2 set pieces. Do you know what I'm saying? So if it's not Palmer, who's going to step up at Copenhagen at home or what's it called, Arsenal away from home? Who's going to step up on our attack? Who's going
The
to
only
score the
one
goal?
I can think of is Neto. Like that's the only one that I can see because he's kind of taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Like at the minute, the goal against Southampton, very good finish, very very. And he was also great that game with the pressing and the movement, and you know he was interchanging. You know he was left wing, right wing, 10 striker. He was absolutely everywhere. He's the only one that I can think because Madueke, I'm not the biggest fan of Madueke, but like he's one of the ones where he can become clutch if he feels like it. He can be the one to score the goal out of nothing. Sancho, I don't know. I don't really see him as a goal scorer, which is kind of the annoying thing. For me, Sancho's more of a creator. It maybe I know Sancho's also criticized himself for not shooting more, but I really the only name that I can throw at you is Neto. Like unless Nkunku decides that he wants to start giving more energy, I don't understand the whole thing with Nkunku. I don't understand. I don't know why he's not giving this sort of energy. Maybe one of you two can tell me, or
I think
he's
it
got no
could be a
some
few
connections.
things. I think I've said in the past he wants to leave. It's easy to say that. I think because of his injury record, he doesn't put as much. When you have that kind of injury like record, you don't put as much energy subconsciously. You could only get injured again.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's the fact that
because what other reason is it then, Jem? Because
in the past, when there's been opportunities for him to come on in like the 60th minute or 70th minute, he's always been like 3rd, 4th choice, and he's always put like someone in front of him. He's even put youngsters on before in Nkunku in the past, and Nkunku's just sitting on the bench. Like I do think there's obviously something not right there, you know, because a firing Nkunku in your team starts. It just starts because he scores goals, and that's what we need. Someone that can convert the chances that we're creating. And I look at him, and I've always looked at him as one of them players that should be doing that for us, especially from the wingers, from the 10s, wherever he is. I get it when he was playing in the 9s because he's not really a 9. You know, it's not really what he wants. He wants to be able to link play and run off people, and you know, and that's why I wanted to see him more with Jackson when he was in the team, especially when Palmer wasn't.
I thought it was perfect for Jackson. I thought it was so perfect for him, but I think even do you know what? Sorry to cut you off. It was just in the Pochettino season. I think we actually saw a lot how good Nkunku was at kind of getting in front of Jackson when Jackson used to drop deep. They used to interchange very, very, very well. And you said the thing about being like the 4th, 5th choice sub or whatever. Well, you only get 3 in it, but. No, you get 5. You get 5.
You get 5. Yeah.
But you know, it's surely something would burn inside you to say, "All right, cool. I'm going to prove you wrong."
Yeah, how you wrong.
I know I'm quality.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
like that sort of mentality really burns me out. And do you know what? We're linked with like certain players. The lap's a big one that's going around. And one of the reasons that I would absolutely love the lap, I still wouldn't take him over Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is top notch. But the reason why I'm not as upset or like I like the idea of him.
You turned around with the lap here now. Do you hear what I was saying about the lap?
Bro, his tenacity is crazy.
Jim disagrees, man.
He's so tenacious, bro. And the game against United, I think it was like he was scruffing people up. He was getting in their face. Like
I
he's
need
got
that
a bit about
aggressive
him.
nature. I need it.
He's got a bit about him. I like him. And
also, before you move on to striker talk, because we'll get a little segment. Do you think Sancho quickly should bring up Ahmed? Yeah. Do you think Sancho should go in the 10, Gem? Yes or no? Like, what do you think? Sancho in the 10.
I think Sancho. I think Sancho in the first half at Leicester was fine. He won us a penalty.
100%. 100%.
Player. He was our most active winger, to be quite honest with you, in my opinion. But
you know what Sancho's thing is, because he doesn't get the GA, people think he doesn't perform. He actually performs quite good, in my opinion. But because he doesn't get the assist and goal, people just look and go, "Oh, what did he do today? He's just slow." Yeah. I don't think he was bad. By the way, he stayed on the whole 90. He stayed on.
It was good.
Like he wasn't.
It was right. Yeah.
Maresca made good subs, by the way. Should we talk on that? For once, Maresca made good subs. He brought on George, who made a difference. Key tackles, stretched the pitch, brought on Josh. He kept on Caicedo, did he? I think he did. Or did he take Caicedo off?
No, he kept him on.
He put Chalobah on. He put Chalobah on.
He brought Chalobah on, for Fofana.
I don't think Chalobah was even like. I thought it was a bit shaky when he came on. He struggled to meet the pace of the match.
But that's why
I don't like Chalobah right back. That's the thing, though.
That's why
he played right back.
Yeah.
Wait, look, like, did he play a back five? He went to a back five, innit? Like he brought in an extra defender for
Josh. Yeah, Josh on the right.
Yeah. He put Josh as like right.
That is what I want to see, because I actually think our team would play a lot better if we defended in a back five, but then it obviously takes out the extra attacker. But
that's the thing.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, the reason why I went to this system is because we have a lot of like tactically flexible players who are quite technical, right? So that's the only problem going back five. It kind of restricts the ability to kind of stretch these players out their ability-wise. I think Enzo would be fine, but all our players do suit a more progressive side of football, for being honest. I know defensive probably better because our defense isn't great, but I think it's
I'd just push Enzo further up. If we played a back five, I'd get Enzo to do what he's doing now and just ask Palmer to be further up forward with whoever's up front.
Here's a shout, And I want to know what you lot think about it. I put out a tweet saying Colwill could be our John Stones. Now, I'm not talking about he's as great as John Stones, but you see stepping into the midfield, I think that's Colwill's game, bro. That is Colwill's game. You see when he steps into the midfield to win the ball, he wins it. He had one pass yesterday. I can't remember who it was to. Again, short-term memory. But he made some line-splitting pass in the middle of the midfield, and I think it created a chance. Incredible. Like
this is the thing. This is the thing. This is what Jem mentioned earlier. At times he can do that, but at times he hoofs it too much. He needs to find a good balance.
He hoofs it when he's further back. When he's too far back, he hoofs it. When he gets a little bit further up the pitch, I think it works out so much better for him. I think.
Yeah. If someone else as well who we need to talk about is Wesley Fofana. Where's he gone? Wesley Fofana. What a great performance coming back. And one thing I did like from Fofana, which we don't even see from Gusto or James, did you guys see the amount of times he ran on the right back position and ran down and overlapped? When do we see Gusto or James do that? Is that instructions? Because why would he tell Fofana to do it and not tell Gusto to do it? Does that make sense?
It's got to be a trait.
So why is it that Fofana, who's not even that quick, who's not slow?
Or maybe he's just doing it without instruction. I don't know. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Was it like we don't see that anymore from Gusto or James? They
also just don't have the confidence to do it because it's kind of Wesley Fofana's game, innit? I think. I don't even know, because you assume them two of all people would be the ones to, because they're natural right backs, innit? They get up, but I don't know. Maybe I tell you what, centre backs are just good with it, man. They just love to do it.
Yeah, I think it's because with Gusto and James, we ask them to invert, so we probably don't see him up and down the wing as much. So it's a different instruction. As with Fofana, it's probably just a flat back three. And then when you've got the ball and there's space there, just drive into it. I mean, that's probably the instruction, maybe. But it's again, who knows?
But you saw, in terms of Fofana, you saw the difference, right, boys, when he played, right? A lot more. The thing is, Fofana brings to a team which we don't have. He has the pace, and he's the reading of the game a bit more. What's the word? Awareness. The other two don't have. Tossing's a bit slow on the turn. Colwell's quite slow. Fofana, for me, he has that natural defensive awareness to stuff things out. He has bozo moments.
Oh yeah, he does.
He has bozo moments. I'm not gonna lie, he does. But he can make up for it with his pace and his awareness and his tackling. For me, Tosin is a good centre back, but he's just too slow.
He's just playing. That's why you play him in the middle.
Though. I think it's Tosin isn't alert and isn't aware. Like he kind of just forgets where he is sometimes. It's like it's the whole nonchalant thing in it, and that's the thing that I do like about
Well, I
him.
don't even
He's
think
not
he's been
very,
nonchalant.
very,
I just think he's slow.
I ain't got no
think he's
problem with
just slow.
Tosin. I think Tosin, since he's come in and on many occasions has been all right. Yeah, he turns like a truck. I agree. Like he does turn like a truck.
His
Like, it's bad, but
He's so tall, bro.
he's tall. And what I like about him is the aerial duels, because when they do hoof up the air, he does tend to win a lot of aerial duels against the strikers.
I mean,
you know,
you'd
cool.
hope so, innit? This guy could be an NBA player, bro.
It's true.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
remember
Coles,
him
man,
in
because
that
that's
Southampton
Coles'
game,
weakness, isn't it?
that tall Southampton striker. I was at the game, man. I was right by the pitch. That tall Southampton striker is massive. He was dealing with him easily.
That's what I'm saying.
He was
Strong.
dealing with him. I was like,
Strong,
yo,
yeah.
that's crazy. But Fofana, yeah, he's going to be key against Arsenal, isn't he? Him and Lavia. They're going to be like. I think Lavia will. My prediction is, boys. I think Lavia will come on against Copenhagen, and I think he'll start versus Arsenal. That's what I think he'll do. I think you don't think so, Jem? What do you think, BD? Do you think he'll?
I think it's one.
Jem, what do you think? You think he won't play in either game?
I think he'll drop either Enzo and Caicedo against Copenhagen to play Lavia, but then I don't see Lavia starting against us. So I think he may come on later on.
So you think he'll keep the same team?
What was his Copenhagen score? It was 2-1, innit?
Yeah.
It's tight. We need to keep our first team.
I reckon we could see a shock. You know, I reckon he can.
Maybe he's all right.
You know what? I think he plays. I think he plays.
He might start Lavia. He might start Lavia and drop Caicedo.
He start Lavia, but I don't think about it against Arsenal.
You could also just start him and then take him off at 60th minute or something like
that.
If you see what the result is going to, you can bring on that. I don't know his name. It's like Amudu or Amugu. You know the young
Amugu. Yeah. Is this true, boys?
Bring him on.
Is he not registered for Conference League?
Lavia.
No, Lavia is.
He might.
Yeah, they all are, right? Everyone's
is. He was there. He's there. Yeah.
Pretty sure all of the main team are now because it's the latter stages.
So we think that he'll come on against Copenhagen and start against Arsenal. Jem thinks no. I think yes. Do you think yes?
I think yes.
We'll see. But how key is Fofana going to be?
What Fofana? How key?
How key is it if Lavia and Fofana in? Does it make it where we could get a win, or do you think even with them in the team, best will get us a draw? What do you always think? Jem, go first.
The way Arsenal playing at the moment, they're not really playing too well anyway from an attacking impotence. I know they scored 7 against PSV, but I'm going to be honest, like that was just PSV being really poor. Like I'm not going to lie, they look
worst goalkeeper performances ever, man.
Like, you know what I mean? So I you know what he does, whether it's a back three again, potentially he might go down that route, but we'll have Reece James back potentially, and maybe Malo Gusto. Then what do you do there? You know, don't be shocked if James and Caicedo play in the middle and Enzo's further forward, by the way, and then Lavia comes in later, because that could also happen against Arsenal, especially if he goes in a back three. But yeah, I don't know, mate. Fofana's important. He's going to start in. This is why he played the other day. We need him anyway. He just helps. The defense is just better when he's in it. I can see that, and I fully agree with that. But I don't know about Lavia starting. That's all.
Comment here from Sean. Big up Sean in the building. Make sure you subscribe, subbing, liking the video. Being Southampton, Leicester doesn't make Chelsea top 3 team. I can see Forest easily finishing with Chelsea. Forest last 10 games, 8 of them are bottom half teams. So this puts us perfectly onto this segment, which is moving forward. I'm going to bring our results on the screen. I'm going to get VD and Jem's predictions for the next few games and how you think it will go. I won't do too many because we don't know how hard we're going to go to the injuries and quality of plays, whatever. But boys, our next 3 games are massive, massive wins that we need to gain, right? What do you think is going to happen? I'll put it up on the screen. VD, you could start in terms of Chelsea's fixtures coming up. What do you think the game's going to be like against Arsenal?
You know,
what's like, for example, what do you think, Jem as well, for the next game after this? What do you think we need? What's the bare minimum in terms of a performance result? Like, what do you think would be acceptable if we lost, if we beat Brentford after? That's what I'm trying to say. What do you think?
Loss is never acceptable. Never, ever acceptable. The only issue that I see with this game is I don't know where the goals are going to come from. Is like, if Palmer's out of form and Sancho isn't really your typical goal scorer, and to be fair, Neto isn't either, where is the goal going to come from? Is it going to be another individual bit of brilliance like Cucurella? You know, is Enzo going to pop up with a goal? And do the keepers want to turn up against them? Both of them, not just Sanchez, but Jorgensen as well, because he is just as shaky, man. He is just as shaky. It's just, there's a whole a whole bunch of what ifs. Like, I don't know. It does help that Arsenal don't have a striker themselves. You know, they're playing Moreno up top, so they're kind of in the same predicament. But they actually have a solid backline. Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White. You know, they got Timber. Skelly's playing well. Raya just had an incredible performance against Man United, and he's levels above our goalkeeper. That's just the worry. That against other teams, maybe, you know, I think these are actually quite favourable fixtures for us. Spurs have been terrible, and they are very easy to beat. Brentford away, probably a draw, right? I'd say probably a draw. But Ipswich and Fulham, didn't we lose to Fulham this season? We lost to them.
Yeah, we lost to them
or
at
did we?
home.
Yeah, like we need to get that back. We need those 3 points back. So the only one that I can see is like properly, or I can see like an actual loss for, is Arsenal, because it's just there's too many what ifs, and their quality is just, well, it's better than the rest of the other teams.
If what you're telling me is this, right, Jem, correct me if I'm
Mm.
wrong. So worst case scenario, if we lost against Arsenal, beat Spurs, drew against Brentford, and beat Ipswich, we'll probably still be top 4 in that position, no?
Be there or thereabouts, but I would go with a draw.
If that happened, how would you feel? That's someone trying to gauge.
I don't know, bro. I don't know how I'd feel. It just depends on the league stand at that point. Because then what you're doing, this is my problem with it, is you're relying on other teams around you to drop points, and I just don't like that.
Yeah,
rather us just concentrate on ourselves. And if we look at here, I'd go with a draw of Arsenal. I think we're going to draw against Arsenal.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be one of them games. So it's going to be a draw. We beat Spurs. I could see us probably beating Brentford. I'm not going to lie. I could see us beating Ipswich, and I can see us beating Fulham. I can see us going on that run. But, you know, if we were to draw, it would probably be something silly like Fulham away. Saints, you know, one of them games.
You know what? That's a shout.
Like,
yeah. I feel like
in a game that we probably should have won as well, innit?
Yeah.
Story of our life.
Yeah. I feel like the performances and result against Spurs and Arsenal will determine the rest of the 3. I think if we draw against Arsenal and beat Spurs, the players coming back, Jackson coming back, Noni coming back, I feel like the team will be galvanised enough to beat Brentford, beat Ipswich, and then get a good result against Fulham. Does that make sense?
We'll beat Ipswich at home. Yeah, we'll beat Ipswich at home.
I feel like if we can get a good result at Arsenal, I think it's massive for the momentum going into the next 4 games after. I think that's massive, man.
Yeah.
I think not avoiding a loss would mean what? We would be unbeaten in 5 games or something, which is quite good, right? So,
Joey, I want us to win.
Like Joey Hackney said, Joe Hackney for the love earlier. I don't want to draw. I don't want to draw. But if you had to tell me to draw against Arsenal, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah. I want us to win, but it just depends, isn't it? You just don't know. We're not really in form, are we, right now? So it's one of them.
If we allow Arsenal to have the ball, we can win. But that's the thing. Chelsea's system won't allow that, would it? We're not going to sit back. Have we sat back in any of our games this season? No.
The biggest problem for me with the Arsenal game, more so, and it's just that we've not really shown any like real mentality in the big games this season. Like we've just not. We've not shown that once, and I do think we do need to show that. I just don't know if this game is the right game based on people out of Palmer not being informed, for example, and just on the way that we're playing. There is the only thing I will say is there is certain individuals in the team that are playing at a high level. It's just can everyone around them follow that, you know? And like you said, Sanchez or Jorgensen, whoever's in goal, can they step up in moments? Because let's be serious, in that game, Arsenal are going to create chances and they're going to have their moments. It's just, is our goalie going to do a Man City, for example, where he loses us the game, or, you know, like, we just don't know.
Literally, Jem literally took all my points. Literally, I was about to say you mentioned this before, I think, on Never a Foul. The mentality of the team is we've been mentally poor for years. The only team we beat is Tottenham. And that's not saying a lot because they're rubbish. Everybody else who expected to be a good result against, we don't. And it's only mentality, like Jem said. Against Man City, we're dominating the game, no problems. The man decides to do a high line, and the goalkeeper just makes 2 blunders, and that's the game over. Just like that. Arsenal, even at home the other day, we played them, and that stupid goal from Martinelli. Why? Near post. It's mentality. It's not necessarily the players have the quality. It's the mentality. Look at Arsenal. They don't lose against big 6 teams, but that's not a trophy. But the thing is, it shows they've got good mentality. It shows they can actually, in the big games, they can turn up and do something. I know they don't win trophies. That's another problem. But in terms of the bigger games, where you need the victories, you need the points.
Stepping up.
We can't every single game now. Bro, now we're going into big 6 teams. We're going to lose today. Bro, we're going into every game now. We're going to lose. I don't feel confident against Arsenal. Keeping it real.
I don't not feel confident against Arsenal. I want
Jim,
to.
why am I saying
This
this?
is one
Because
team
I
on
know
this
the
earth that I
mentality of
want
my
us to beat
team.
3-4-0. It's Arsenal. Like, I can't stand them. Like, I hope
But
we do
Jim,
smash
I'm
it.
like you, but the reality is I don't believe in our team. The mentality.
I believe in that team. But
Bro,
I just
I
don't
Well,
know.
it's
believe
not
we
even
will
just the
lose against
mentality. I
Brighton
think the
twice.
quality as well. Some of the quality there is a big drop off as well. It's just that defense, man. I mean, Fofana's going to be fighting for his life, man. If they come off the right and, Cucurella's not there or whatever and he gets beat, do you really trust Colwell to stop them? Do you really trust Tosin to stop them? Chalobah? I don't know, man. And then it's when they get past them, what Sanchez are we getting? If we get the one, what was it? I think last year, who was it? Brentford or Fulham or something? He had an incredible game. I can't remember. But if we get that Sanchez, then cool, we could be in for something. But if we get typical Sanchez, then
We're finished.
I don't know, man.
I'm more worried about the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper don't help the defense, by the way. I think he doesn't implement any sort of confidence. And I think it's a big thing that when your goalkeeper's putting confidence into your defense, you see the levels raised. Like we've seen it in the past with certain defenses. But I can see Colwell. Colwell's got for me, he's out of form. He could be a problem, but I can see tossing, if it is tossing Fofana, Colwell, Cucurella, which it might not be because we have James now, but if it is, I can see them putting in a shift and having a good game if we can keep, because I don't think Arsenal are great on the attack, other than having Trossard cutting in and Martinelli off the wing, maybe if he starts. I don't worry about Marino. Marino's just from what I've seen, it's that guy, isn't he? So I can see us doing well defensively. It's just what do we do going forward? Because we are going to create, we are going to have moments. And listen, the one thing that Arsenal are good at doing is, supposedly is defending, isn't it? With Gabriel and Saliba. So we've got to stretch them and we've got to attack them in the right areas and we've got to try and be confident. We've got to show confidence and attack 100%. The box and take our chances, man. That's it. That is all it is.
That's the saddest thing. Is we don't. I think in these big games, Jem, it's more a case of the bozo moments and the lack of taking chances. In these big games, if you look at all the past 3 big games, Jem, we do create chances. We never take them. And then we'll concede silly goals. That's what Chelsea are like. Man City, right? We could have been 2-0 up. We could have been 2-0 up against Man City. Game done. Just sit back. We missed our chance. Bozo moments happen. The poor goalkeeper save. And then I think someone had a tap in. I think it was Foden, whoever it was, had tap in. It was 1-1 already. The problem with Chelsea is we're PFC. We're charity FC. And we don't do anything against big teams in the top 6. We just it's an issue, it's a block, it's a mental block, it's a challenge, it's a hurdle. I don't know what it is. It's juju, is a curse. I don't know, innit?
I don't also think we're good enough to play low block as well. That's another thing. People keep saying
we're not.
I don't think we can invite pressure well because we just have individual just
bozos.
It's not that. The biggest thing that kills me the most when I watch our defense, especially when we're defending the box, is, and you learn this when you're a kid, when you're a defender, it's being aware of danger of people around you attacking the box. Our defenders, all they do is ball watch, man. How many goals have we conceded where every defender's looking that way, watching the guy cross the ball, but not worrying about the man running in behind them or whatever, and they score from it. It's just that basic stuff that really just irritates me as a fan to watch,
That's why I like Fofana so much. Fofana is he's also someone that puts his body on the line every single time to make sure the shot is stopped. I don't really see that from Colwell and Tosin, especially Colwell. He just kind of sticks out a leg, hopes that maybe the ball will connect with it if he wants, if he feels like getting in the way. It's just, I don't know. I don't like players like that, man. That's why, I mean, if you're asking me, if Chelsea needs someone like Murillo from Nottingham Forest, someone that just on your case. And it's why it worked so well with when we had Rudiger. You got to have someone like Fofana. He can be aggressive in it, but he's not like an aggressive person. Someone that's going to clamp you, or someone that's the only way to describe it is Gabriel, Saliba. They're so perfect. They synergize so well, and we just don't have that. So
man, the system. It's all about the system and the players. Arsenal's system gets more exposed when they expand. You saw Man United yesterday; they created loads of opportunities. So it's not just the players. I'm not gonna lie; it is the system too. Even the centre backs yesterday, they could see a lot of chances, right? But the individual quality we have isn't good enough. So when he's not fit, there's a drop off, and it's not necessarily Tosin's fault. Jem said perfectly earlier, he hasn't been the issue this season, but unfortunately, his level just isn't high enough to win us a Premier League when our main players are injured. So for me, we need to upgrade in the summer. Someone said here below, which I partly agree with. Big up Joey Hackney. All we need is striker and a defender. We got Petrovic, Santos, Esteval. We all agree with you, but the problem is our board might sell one of them. Our board might sell Santos and Petrovic. That's what they're like, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to see in the summertime who they keep, who they purchase, who they loan out. But I think it's very important in the summer, boys, that we get it right. I feel if Chelsea can get the balance between selling some players and keeping some youngsters who've got good potential, whilst adding the experience, I think we can blend a good squad together. But if they get rid of all our youngsters, for example, and bring in more youngsters, I think it's a waste of time. I thought we're in a roulette and we'll just be doing the same thing. So we'll see where we lie. How do you feel about Copenhagen coming up? I don't think I'll speak to you always before then. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But how do you guys feel about Copenhagen? Do you think we can get through? BD, we saying?
Should be. I mean, if we don't, that's embarrassing. Home as well? Come on. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm looking past it, but I'm kind of looking past it, innit? Like, this should just be kind of like Southampton and Leicester, where the win should be getting... Well, yeah, we should be winning.
I think if we win this
I don't
game,
even know if there's...
okay.
Yeah, I think we will. I'll be very shocked if we don't.
I think, Jem, if I'm wrong, isn't Copenhagen one of the toughest teams in this competition, right? Them and Betis, right?
That's left.
Them Betis, Fiorentina
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, I think so. We're getting one of the tough ones out of the way. So, what do you think, Jem? If we get through this, we should be okay, right, to get to the final, no? In theory.
I think we should. Like I said, we have to win it. Like, end of. Like, I don't care who else is left in this. We have to be winning this trophy. So, we have to beat Copenhagen on Thursday. Listen, we didn't really play that great away, did we? Really, personally, it was quite a bit. It was a bit slow and lethargic. And one thing I've noticed with us this season, like, especially recent games, it's just like we're very slow. Just in the first half, so we don't really get out of the block. We're just like sideways, backwards, sideways. Like, it's just we need to up our game a little bit. But yeah, we should beat Copenhagen. We should see.
I think that first half was tactical. I think the manager told them. I think James came out and said it after the game. It was about controlling the crowd, not getting them like a leg up, early goal, and then kind of seeing out the game. So the tactic did work, but it's not good to watch, especially with Copenhagen. They're not a great team, so we better not see that at home against them because we're a better team than them. We're at home, Stamford Bridge, under the lights. So we can get a win. But everybody, stream's going to end here. VD and Jem's descriptions will be below. VD's Twitter and probably Jem's TikTok, I'm assuming, or GNA TV. Hit the like button as well. I'm really pushing the stream because we've been flowing, enjoying the conversation. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel and subbing on VD's Twitter and following Jem's TikTok as well. Pushing out all our content. Love for love. We'll see you guys soon. Probably tomorrow for another stream. In a bit. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love.